Hi there, this is Yaroslav from ShareMuch.com, and today we're going to talk about how to package your branding customizations to ship it out to someone. So as you're working with branding of your SharePoint site, public or intranet, you probably need to package it, or someone expects you to give them a WSP package that they can install on their own environment. So as you're branding your site, whether you're using Visual Studio already or SharePoint Designer, in this case I'm going to demonstrate how to transfer your SharePoint Designer customizations. You're working with your pages and master pages and CSS. In this case we have an intranet site opened in SharePoint Designer, and when I click on all files and catalogs, master pages, I can actually access either out of the box master page and modify the look and feel of that master page. For instance, if I want to delete this particular icon, I can delete it right from here, and then make such kind of customizations. As you're making those customizations, we'll take a look at how you can transfer them to Visual Studio. So I'm going to fire up my Visual Studio and I'm going to open a new project. I'm going to just leave the name as is, pick an empty SharePoint project, save it to the desktop, click OK. For my deployment location, I'm going to pick my demo site, the intranet.contoso.com. This is the site, and I'm going to deploy it as a farm solution. Click Finish. And here is my solution structure already created. Now the first thing I'm going to do, or you should do, I already have it installed here, is one of the things that is available for Visual Studio 2010. It's a community tool called CKS Dev. One of the things that CKS Dev allows you to do is create, it has several templates, project templates and item templates, as well as some of the deployment templates that you can use that will make your deployment of any package, and especially branding package, fairly easy. So one of the ways to install CKS: Tools, Extension Manager, and when you click Online Gallery, you would specify CKS Dev, and it would search for this particular tool. Once you install it, you just restart the Visual Studio and you have CKS Dev. So when you have CKS Dev Toolkit installed, all I need to do here to create my new SharePoint branding package, I'm going to right click on my project, say Add New Item, and then pick a CKS Dev type of project called Branding. So Branding project here, when I click Add, creates several sort of artifacts in your Visual Studio. Now, the first thing is it creates modules for your master pages, for your CSS. As you can see here, there's a module for your CSS, for your master page. And there's some of the event receivers that will help you activate your CSS and your master pages at the time of the new webs being created. And it also creates a feature that provisions all that to the site. So let's take a look at how we could transfer some of the existing customizations from within SharePoint Designer to this particular CKS Dev or this particular Visual Studio project. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make some changes to this particular master page, and I'm just going to delete the little icon here, and this is the piece of code that corresponds to this particular icon, SP link button, that points to the current root site, and by default it has this site icon.png. So I'm going to just copy that so I can easily find it in my master page. I'm going to open one of the master pages that's included by default with CKS Dev and try to find this particular site icon. Here it is. So this is the section that basically is the same section that I'm trying to get rid of. So I'm just going to hide this, and that's going to be my master page change. So providing that you're happy with all of your master page changes, CSS comes next. So CSS is already referenced within this master page, right on the top here. So this particular CSS is linked to this master page. So all you need to do is just make your CSS customizations, if you have any, right in here. Now, where does that go to when the solution is deployed? So if I click on elements.xml, you'll see that the CSS is deployed to style library branding. So it assumes that style library exists on your site, and it does exist on mine. So what it does, it creates a new folder called branding within your style library, and that's where CSS is dropped. The master page, similarly, if I click on Elements XML, now that's not dropped on in the style library, that's dropped in a special reserved folder, catalogs.masterpage or /master pages. And if I go to my SharePoint Designer, there is a catalogs reserved folder, and if I go there, there's a master page folder, and that's where the new master page is going to be dropped. So obviously, if you use, and you probably do use, images in your solution, you'll notice that this one doesn't have images. So you need to create a new module for images. So to create a new module for images, you just add a new, just out of the box module, and in my case, I'm just going to call it images. Say add. And here's basically a sample file, and as well as the elements XML created for you. So I don't have any images on this machine, but basically the concept here is the same as with the CSS files. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that module definition from here and apply it to my images. So I'm going to say that for each file within this module, I'm going to call this module images, and then drop the destination images into the URL of style library branding, and then maybe add images. So that way it's within a folder of style library branding and then images. Path obviously is going to be images, and that denotes the path of this particular folder in Visual Studio. And I'll leave all of the other ones as default. So as you add elements into this particular folder, they will be added up similarly to our CSS, like this. Just make sure that they're defined properly, such as file, and then all of the attributes resemble what you want them to be. So as you add items into this particular module, such as add existing item, they will be added to this module, to this particular elements.xml. Since we don't have anything right now, this particular images folder or images module is going to be ignored if you expand the files here. So that's it. That's how you transfer your CSS images and master page to the site. Now if I deploy this particular, and solution is added to the solution store, the features are being activated, and deployment succeeded. So now if I go back to my site, click on the link, obviously it'll take a little bit for us to reset this particular site. But now the page has refreshed, and you can see that the master page that we had doesn't include the little branding icon here that comes out of the box, and there's obviously some color that's been overwritten. But basically that's how your solution is deployed. Now to give it to someone to actually deploy it to their system, just right click, open file in Windows Explorer, click on bin, debug, and there's your WSP. So you just hand in this WSP to the folks in IT, I guess, group, and they'll deploy that branding customization with all of your changes applied. Alright, for more information about this and sort of other details related to deployment and branding, you may check out my blog, sharemuch.com, and also you'll find there my 2 new wonderful books about branding in SharePoint 2010, and as well as some of the development and deployment best practices.